How's it going, everybody? My name is Coco Van Dam, and I'm coming to you to speak about Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk 2077. Personally, I'm not too familiar with the tabletop game. I've watched a whole lot of videos, just researching on what I've been hyped about for the last 7 years. Just a little insight on Johnny. He is a veteran of the United States military. He lost his arm in what they call the Central American conflict, where he just kind of didn't come back home altogether. Let's say at least he's really pissed off. I mean, of course, the guy lost an arm for really what looked like nothing. Really just corporate greed, and that gets into some more of his stuff. He really is very anti-establishment. He doesn't really give any real fucks about the military anymore. He absolutely hates corporations. Something we're gonna get into is his motives, his relationships with V, depending on what decisions you make in the game. Not only like, oh, if you pick, the straight kid corpo or nomad lifestyle, because he will feel a certain type of way about the gangs of Nightcity, like the Nomads, the Maelstroms, the Valentinos, Sixth Street, the Voodoo Boys, the Animals, the Tiger Claws, and the Moxes. So far, we're definitely seeing some hints of revenge in here. Feeling like that might be his main goal really during the game, and we're not quite sure how that's going to affect V. I have a feeling, personally, my theory is that he might do whatever it takes to get that revenge. It doesn't really seem like he's going for justice. I mean, I'm sure like that's a part of it, but I really don't feel like he's just all in for the like the common man. I think because he really did get kind of screwed over with Arasaka. They kidnapped his girlfriend. His fucking soul, mind, whatever, is trapped in a chip that's now in V. That was her technology, and he has to be pissed. He's presumed dead by the hands of Adam Smasher, who is just a big old nemesis type character. He's just there's no humanity in the guy. His popular quote that I've seen over and over again is metal is better than meat. That's kind of sus, but whatever. He's definitely a victim of the cyber psychosis. Like, it's pretty much the more advancement someone gets, the less humanity they have, pretty much. So the more augments you make, pretty much the more you get away from your sense of self as a human being. Adam Thrasher in itself is wasn't really a nice person. He's literally the complete opposite of Johnny. I'm sure Johnny was a big, justice guy when he joined the military. Adam Thrasher, on the other hand, was also part of a military faction, but he was more of like, hey, I'm just here to shoot shit, and that's it. Some of the other things we're gonna look into are the life paths and how that would affect your relationship with Johnny. As I previously stated, that will, it'll affect the start of the story. It will also, I'm pretty sure that's how you meet Johnny, depending on whichever life path you choose. I think, like, the street kid, I'm sure Johnny will probably kind of resonate with V being from the streets and stuff like that, and he'll probably show a little more favor to Johnny, being like Johnny is like a legend guy. he lost his arm, I think they said, in like 1990 from what I read, and of course it's been almost a whole century. So the guy is he's not only like an urban myth, but he's like an actual legend when it comes to just being himself, and of course being played by Keanu Reeves. I'm sure they're gonna do a great job of getting that across with his vocals and things like that. The street kid is definitely gonna be more so like, oh, you got paid to do a job, it went bad. I think that's what we've seen from the trailers. Also, like, it goes bad, you gotta put the chip in your head to, you know, get on with life pretty much and get paid. I'm not even sure you're gonna be getting paid for that job by the end of it, because it seems like you're really screwed up. Um, the chip, though, in itself, it kind of seems like, from what I saw, it's kind of like some Black Mirror stuff. You know, you put it in a body that's dying or decaying, it'll download all of your little like personality traits, like literally everything. It's literally like taking a soul and just putting it in a chip. So Johnny is definitely going to be just as much a part of V as V is themselves. Depending on how it works, though, because the way it sounds is that V might be getting more so more of a parasite type relationship with Johnny, because if the chip stays in too long, I'm thinking it'll at some point it'll take him over, and that's kind of what gives the urgency in the game, is like, hey, you need to get this chip out of your head, because if not, Johnny Silverhand is gonna fucking just completely engulf your brain and you're done. The corporal lifestyle, he definitely isn't gonna be too big of a fan of. The corpos are literally everything he stands against. He's a rocker guy, super punk rock, definitely, as I said before, anti-establishment. So being from the corporal lifestyle, even if you got screwed over and you're kind of just like stuck on the streets after getting screwed over, he's probably not going to care too much. It's going to be more of a, well, you got what you deserve type of thing. I don't see it going really well with that life path with Johnny throughout the game, unless you make certain choices that earn his trust. So yeah, it'll probably be a little testy at the beginning. Personally, that's probably gonna be the one I start out with. They all seem really cool. I'll more than likely be between Street Kid and Corpo. Nomad seems really awesome too, but that's more of a it feels like it's gonna be a whole different game starting as a Nomad, because you're on the outskirts of Nightcity and you're kind of doing your own thing out there. Following up with that, of course, the Nomad, I'm pretty sure this will probably be, like, if you want a good starting relationship with Johnny Silverhand, the Nomad lifestyle will be probably your best bet. It'll definitely be like, hey, we're out here, minding our own business, just vibing out in the desert, just chilling. I feel like that'll probably be the best bet to really get in good with Johnny at the beginning, and it seems like a really cool way to go about it. Also, this also helps us transition into the gangs of Nightcity. So the Nomads are their own little thing on the outskirts. I'm pretty sure there's different tribes of Nomads. So, of course, depending on if you can just choose to run with a certain one over the others, then you're more than likely, it'll probably splinter off into other things too. So whether or not Johnny's gonna really mesh with those guys, depending on your decisions, he'll probably scold you for choosing someone that isn't so cool and chill, like the Maelstroms, as if, I don't know if there's any Nomads that are kind of like that, but that probably wouldn't be what would be the worst part. And then something like the Moxes would probably be more Johnny's style, also, just where it's community and people just taking care of each other, not really going out of their way to mess with anybody else, just minding their own business, and so on and so forth. This gets us over to the Maelstroms, which are the guys you've seen in the trailers and everything, with the red eyes. Like, the dudes have like almost no face but their mouth. Guys they've just super augmented themselves, and they also are definitely being affected by cyber psychosis, much like the big bad Adam Thrasher, or Adam Smasher, excuse me. Yeah, so they are just absolute douchebags from what I've seen. They steal people's body parts. Pretty much if they see it and they like it, they're gonna take it. They're very, very classic, like Viking, like when you see it in like pop culture, with Vikings just absolutely just ravaging things. That's definitely the Maelstroms, and if you side with the Maelstroms, I don't see it going too well with Johnny. He's gonna probably think you're the scum of the fucking earth, like, honestly, and it's just gonna be really bad. On the other side of things, there's the gang, the Valentinos. They're like a Latin American group. Mostly, they don't only let Latin American people in, or Spanish-speaking people in. They have a really, like, traditional sense to them. They believe in honor, and they have a code of ethics, things like that. They seem really cool. Like, they're not too bad. Like, especially if you're, if you mess with the reggaeton and, Daddy Yankee and Sean Paul, you'll definitely like them. Even though Sean Paul's, like Jamaican or whatever. But but you'll definitely probably like this type of thing if you want to be kind of like a classy type, dressed real nice, probably not gonna talk too much, carry a big stick, that type of thing. Next is 6th Street. They're definitely the freaking yeehaw, America type people in Cyberpunk. They're definitely the yeehaws of Cyberpunk. They're extremely patriotic, very, I guess you could call them the constitutionalist of Cyberpunk. They are in themselves still a gang, so don't get it twisted. They're definitely not some righteous, let's keep the community safe type thing. They run guns and drugs as well, just like most of the other gangs. On to the next ones, the Voodoo Boys. The Voodoo Boys would also probably be kind of like with the Valentinos in 6th Street, where Johnny probably won't care as much about them, to be honest. I don't think he'll have a negative feeling towards those two gangs or anything like that. The Voodoo Boys are probably your closest thing that Johnny might like outside of the Moxes and Nomads. They kind of seem like they're in to do good, but also they're probably, there's probably some bad apples in there too, like pretty much every other gang. They're net runners, mostly Haitian background, so Haiti just gets annihilated by climate change, and following that, they of course have to migrate somewhere else, and they choose America. They seem to, like I said before, want to do good, or do good for the most part. They're trying to, they kind of use the Netrunner stuff to see what's going on around Nightcity. They seem like a more good guy type of gang, though, because they have beef with the animals, from what I've seen, which the animals, they're absolute monsters among men. They're sort of like the Maelstroms, where they're trying to increase their survivability, or just their freaking complete output of just damage that they can do. They're more like beefheads. Like, they're trying to reach peak human performers. They're trying to be like Superman out here. They're all buff. They're probably gonna be the guys with minimal body mods, but as you can see, like, they use mods to supplement their like actual like muscle gain and just the sheer size of them. They run in packs. They're really like kind of leaning into the whole animal style or name in general, and they love to fight. I think a lot of the things you see with them in the trailers and everything, or gameplay in general, has been them either working out or boxing or just fighting in random fight pits or whatever they do, honestly. But yeah, these guys, they probably aren't gonna be on Johnny's good side. They kind of seem like douchebags, also. Um, just because they kind of want to control things, and he's definitely like, he's not about controlling others or wanting to be controlled, so they'll definitely be on his bad side. Next, the Tiger Claws. These are the more, I believe they're supposed to be kind of like the Yakuza in Japan. They're very uh, I would say Japanese centered. They're very, like I said, like the Yakuza. They're traffickers in general, honestly. Like, they're just straight up traffickers. They traffic guns, drugs, sex. So Johnny's definitely not gonna be a fan of them. Again, another group of people trying to control other groups of people. Um, from what I know, they mostly have beef with the Moxes because one of the Tiger Claws killed like the leader of the Moxes. Before it was a real gang, it was pretty much like their den mother, I guess you would call it. She took care of them. The Moxes are pretty much a sex worker union, so they pretty much, they're another group that sticks to themselves and just kind of takes care of themselves and takes care of each other. They don't really step out of their own bounds. They don't go looking for trouble, what it seems like at least. And Johnny will probably be a big fan, being a rocker guy. I'm sure he's very pro sex worker and wants to make sure they're taken care of, especially in Night City when there's all types of just absolute carnage going on. And next, Arasaka, clearly, like, that's where Johnny got his arm from. They kidnapped his girlfriend, killed her, presumably killed him. Um, they had Adam Smasher working for them, so presumably dead, but no one really knows. Arasaka, yeah, that's pretty clear cut. He's not gonna like Arasaka at all. And next, Adam Smasher himself. I think in the stories I think I read, he was presumed dead, but he probably isn't because they did show him in the game. So, especially being one of those types where he's just mostly machine, not much man left. I'm thinking it's gonna be like the Mountain from Game of Thrones, where he definitely should have died and not been like able to even walk, if let alone like breathe. So they more than likely rebuilt him. He's definitely going to be an issue later on in the game for you and Johnny Silverhand. So yeah, and that's probably going to wrap it up for me. This is my first video, just talking and talking and talking. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for checking me out. If you guys made it this far in the video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you feel inclined. Please check me out at Twitch, Coco Van Dam, Instagram, Coco Van Dam LOL, Twitter, Coco Van Dam as well. Again, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great morning, night, whenever you're watching this, and definitely be dropping more Cyberpunk in the future. More than likely gameplay, maybe some tips and tricks, depending on how good I am. I'm usually good at these games. I'm really good at games, guys. Alright. Again, thanks so much. See you guys next time.